Ukraine is deeply divided between its eastern regions, which are largely pro-Russian, and western areas that widely detest Mr. Yanukovych. Tensions mounted in Crimea, in the southeast of Ukraine, where pro-Russian politicians are organizing rallies and forming protest units, demanding autonomy from Kiev. The region is now seen as a potential flashpoint because of its deep strategic significance to Moscow. The Crimean port of Sevastopol may be part of Ukraine, but it is the Russian tricolour that flutters proudly above the port's barrack blocks and warships. The city's cobbled streets are full of Russian sailors, often recklessly drunk, while the harbor shelters ranks of sleek, grey, Russian vessels that dwarf their Ukrainian neighbors. Under a deeply politically divisive leasing deal, the deepwater port is home to a huge naval base in the Russian Black Sea Fleet, providing Russia's military with easy access to the Mediterranean. However, many Russians believe that it is only a twist of fate that means the peninsula is not part of their country anyway, and turmoil in Ukraine could prove a perfect opportunity to reassert their claim. Sevastopol has been a proud part of Russian imperial might since the 18th century, but in 1954 was transferred to Ukrainian control under Nikita Khrushchev, an ethnic Ukrainian. When Ukraine broke away from the Soviet Union in 1991, it took Crimea with it. Moscow has since had to lease the strategically critical naval base. Lila Gvorian, a senior Russia analyst at IHS Jane's Insight, said, "There are many Russians who believe it was Khrushchev, who was an ethnic Ukrainian, who decided to give it to Ukraine, and still believe it is unfair. If it had been part of Russia, it would have provided a deepwater port for its fleet on the Black Sea, whereas Russia now has to pay a lease until 2042. Strategically, symbolically and historically, it is important for the Russians. If there's turmoil and real talk of the breakup of Ukraine, the Russians will be interested in securing this part. In a recent opinion poll, 56% of Russians said they viewed Crimea as a Russian territory, a far higher proportion than felt a claim on Chechnya. But Ms. Gvorian said the Crimean population was extremely diverse, and it may prove difficult to manipulate by Russian nationalists. In particular, the region's significant population of Muslim Tatars, who saw persecution and mass deportation under Stalin, had little desire to join Russia. It's a patchwork of different identities, and I am not sure it will be easy to manipulate, she said. It has never been either truly Russian or truly Ukrainian. Mrs. Rice said it would be a mistake for Mr. Putin to view the tumult as a Cold War battle between the East and West. That's a pretty dated perspective that doesn't reflect where the people of Ukraine are coming from. This is not about the US and Russia, she said. The country need not be torn apart on a cultural fault line between pro-Russian and pro-Europe Ukrainians, Mrs. Rice said.